And we're speaking to Kristin Welker of Meet the Press. Kristin, thank you for talking to me today.
Laura, thank you for having me, and we're excited to have you on Sunday on the Meet the Press panel.
I'm very excited to go, too. What are you interested in about North Carolina politics that lead you to invite me?
Well, there's so much. First of all, the fact that early voting is underway in the wake of dealing with Hurricane Helene, the determination of the people in your state to make sure that their voices are heard in this election. And then, of course, it is one of the battleground states that we are watching very closely. A Democrat hasn't won your state since 2008 when Barack Obama did it. Democrats eyeing your state very closely to see if they can win that state back. And then, of course, the governor's race, one that we are watching very closely as well. Could the Republican nominee be a drag in any way on former President Trump's chances in that state? Of course, he has been a controversial figure. So those are just a few of the reasons why we are watching North Carolina very closely and why we're so excited to have your perspective on Sunday.
Well, thank you for that. Yes, I have to agree. It is a fascinating state right now. You know, there's a Chinese curse that says, may you live in interesting times. I'm sure you've heard that. Anyway, let me ask you about the other guests that are going to be on your show. I understand that you're hosting Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. What's the topics going to be for Mr. Shapiro?
Yeah, look, Governor Josh Shapiro is governor of the biggest state when it comes to the number of electoral votes. Pennsylvania, basically all tied up right now, Laura. So this is going to be a hard-fought battle. Not only are the candidates going to be in North Carolina a lot, they're going to be in Pennsylvania a lot. And so we'll talk to him about the race there. We're going to talk to him about some of the big themes of this campaign, what he thinks Vice President Kamala Harris needs to do if she wants to win this race, which, again, seems to be all tied up in a lot of the battleground states. So a lot of topics to go through with the governor.
And I see you're also having Senator Lindsey Graham on. What are you planning to talk about the death of Yahya Sinwar, or what are your topics going to be with the senator?
Oh, absolutely. We'll talk about the death of Yahya Sinwar. What are the implications for the Middle East? What are the implications for a potential ceasefire deal, potentially bringing home the hostages? Depending on who you talk to, some people think that this increases the chances that there could be a ceasefire deal. Some think it decreases it. We know that Secretary of State Antony Blinken is heading to the region. How will this all play out? And of course, Senator Lindsey Graham is a top Trump surrogate, so we will get his take on the state of the race as well. And we'll have the great Steve Kornacki, Laura, to break down some of the latest battleground polls for us.
And that is one thing I wanted to ask you about, because we've had 3 North Carolina specific polls come out this week, and 2 of them, I think, Kamala Harris was leading by 1 or 2 points, and 1 of them Trump was leading by 2 points. And, you know, the thing is, it's been like this for months, right? It's one month to the next. It's just a question of who's ahead by a percentage or 2 or who's not. You know, what are you watching? What are you looking for specifically in North Carolina as these polls are coming in and as we're getting closer to Election Day?
Well, look, the fact that the polls are so close is consistent with what we are seeing in every single battleground state. And what we're looking for in a state like North Carolina is the enthusiasm factor. How energized are voters to get out and vote early? So far, they have been, and that speaks volumes to the fact that people are engaged in this race. Look, our latest polling says 62% of voters say that the upcoming presidential election makes, quote, a great deal of difference in their lives and their families' lives. Think about that. That just underscores the fact that people are engaged. They are paying attention. They're paying attention to the candidates' arguments. And I think you're seeing that play out in North Carolina, too.
Absolutely. You know, we had a record-breaking day yesterday, set a brand new turnout record for the first day of early voting. We're expecting to see that happen again, probably over the weekend. We're blessed with some good weather, but I think a lot of that, too, has to do with the fact that for the first time, we have both campaigns, both Harris and Trump campaigns, saying to their voters, get out and bank your votes early. Not saying wait till Election Day, but saying it's essential that you get those votes in early. And it looks like they're listening.
Yeah, and I think that you're right. That messaging on early voting makes all the difference. We know that former President Donald Trump has been very critical of early voting in the past, and that has actually depressed early voting for Republicans. We saw that in the midterms. Republicans have been very energized about saying we have to change our messaging. We have to tell our folks to get out early and vote. Now, former President Trump has continued to cast some doubt on early voting in this election cycle as well. But he has also said, get out and do it. So there's been a little bit of mixed messaging. But to your point, the fact that you had a record day speaks to the fact that people are energized. They want to make their voices heard in this election.
I think that's all the questions I have for you. Is there anything that I can tell you?
No, you nailed it. Thank you, Laura.
All right. Thank you so much, Kristin. I really appreciate your time. And we'll see you on Sunday.